Hello everyone and welcome to issue number 31 of the monthly Dive Into the Longbox. I am Gabe here, joined by Jocelyn as usual. Straight from Connecticut and Canada, coming right at you. In the theme of Marvel and DC coming back for a combination book, we are the Connecticutians.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. It's like logo, you know what I mean? It works, I guess.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
We will be getting into that a little later on. But before we jump into that, this month we got lined up. We're going to be talking about some of our top 5 personal recommendations. We're going to be looking at this month in Wizard and hype up our one-shot for next issue. Or sorry, for next episode. But to begin here, Jocelyn, what have you got on your pull list? I've had a crazy month.
I've actually had like an active month as well, because like this is really my first month that I would consider myself as like an ongoing reader.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been avoiding it for a long time.
I know. You're finally getting on the ongoing train.
But I've finally been like on the ongoing train, and I'll tell you like a few that I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
And a few that I've really liked actually. I think the one that I've enjoyed the most is Children of the Round Table by Tom Taylor.
So I see that at the end of every DC comic now. It's always at the advertisements.
I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I did. And then I read it and I was like, dude, I love this. This is so much fun. Like it's an all awesome. Ages. It's an all ages, like, you know, kind of like fantasy adventure coming of age story.
Yeah.
Like it's really sweet. It's really cute. I really like the art in it. Like it's so good. Like I really, really enjoyed it. It is. Like I really, really enjoyed it. I rated it pretty highly on a League of Comic Geeks. I give it 4 stars out of 5.
Oh, really?
I rated it very highly. Yeah, like I really enjoyed it.
That is pretty high. Jesus. Especially for League of Comic Geeks. I
think
there's a lot of people that are very exact on what they want. But I like that though. But at the same time I feel like there's also a lot of like positivity on there, which is really good.
Yeah, so like that's actually one of the comics where I thought people were gonna shit on it, but it's actually held like a really good rating so far.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've been on that ongoing flow, as you know, for a long time. So I'm glad to see that you're jumping on the train.
I've also read Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum. I thought that was interesting.
You did tell me about that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because it's the team that does Ice Cream Man.
Oh, really?
Which I haven't read, but like I've heard that it's like a great comic.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's like a great comic. And when I say like the team, I really mean the team, like not just the writer and the artist, but like the colorist and the letterer as well. Like they brought everyone for this, yeah.
Damn.
Like again, this is a really good book. Like I didn't really know what to expect going into this. The gist of the story is that Superman finds out that there's 4 new different like kryptonite variants that like do different things to him, right? So you've got purple,
like,
you got blue.
He's like, damn it.
You got rainbow, purple, blue, and you've got black, and they all do different things to him. But you only cover like one variant like per issue, so they really give it enough time to like explain and build and, you know, kind of let things breathe a little bit like per issue.
Yeah. Man, dude.
The one that surprised me the most, because I didn't know if I was going to like it, but the one that surprised me the most was Cheetah and I feel like I'm gonna butcher her name. Is it Cheshire?
Cheshire. You're close. You were close. You were close.
It's Cheetah and Cheshire rob the Justice League.
What?
And the only reason why I gave this a shot, I mean, nothing against Cheetah or Cheshire. Like, I don't really have anything against them. The reason why I gave this a shot is because it's written by Greg Rucka.
Yeah.
I like Greg Rucka a lot. So I was like, okay, this sounds kind of, you know, neat. You know, let's give it a read. And I mean, yeah, this is really fun. Like,
You're having a good time.
I'm having a good time reading this. Like, it's Cheetah and Cheshire aren't really portrayed as like villains in this. They're more so portrayed as like very flawed people, like, you know, anti-heroes more so. And you really get more of like a personal look into their lives outside of like being who they are beyond their persona. Like you get to
Yeah.
see Cheshire like being a mother. You get to see Cheshire and Cheetah's like friendship, um, and you really get to see their their plotting of like how ridiculous this plan is, where they want to break into the Justice League Watchtower and steal a bunch of shit and like sell it and then make a bunch of money.
What
But
the hell?
like,
I mean, smart
yeah,
idea when you think about it. Really, when you really break it down, it's
it
not a
almost
bad
reads
idea.
like in theory, in concept, it
Mm.
almost reads like a buddy comedy.
Yeah,
It's
it
just like
sounds
the
like
way
it.
that it's set out. Yeah. This is really good. There's 2 issues of it so far. I'd recommend people to give it a shot. I really enjoyed it, and I will continue with it for as long as it goes on.
Hell
The
yeah.
last one I read was The Curse of Shirley Johnson,
Mm.
which is
I'm gonna look that
for
up.
people that really like Spawn or know anything about the Spawn mythology.
Oh, we
Shirley,
talked about this.
yes, Shirley
Yeah.
is the girl that Billy Kincaid killed in Spawn number 5. And then now she's resurrected, she's got powers, she's in hell,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to figure her way basically out of hell.
That
Um,
I've had my eyes on that. I saw that when I went to the shop, and I like almost grabbed it, but then I don't know why I didn't. But then I was like, I'm pretty sure this is something you're gonna update me on, and I'm glad I was right.
I think it's a pretty solid read. I don't want to say it's like really good.
Like
I really
a
want to
good
like it.
start.
Yeah, like it's. I really want to like it more than I want to. I guess
Mhm.
if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
it's like a Spawn title. But for what it is, like I think it's pretty solid. You could definitely do a lot worse. My biggest problem with it is that they don't always write Shirley like she's a little girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes they write her to be or to say things that are probably a little bit more mature or above what someone her age would say.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like I don't know, let's just keep it like characteristic to like what her age is.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's my biggest problem really with the book. But besides that, the art is cool. I mean, you get a lot of cool imagery and all that. And it introduces a lot of like new characters into the Spawn mythology. So it's
Yeah.
enjoyable. I'll keep up with it until they turn me off completely,
Until
I
they do
guess.
something that you hate.
Yeah, until they turn me off completely, I guess. But for what it is, I think it's pretty solid.
Well, that kind of happened to me, as you've known for as long as it's been out for. I've been singing the praises of Teen Titans, the Titans book that's been out. I have sadly dropped it from my pull list.
Oh, is that
Recently.
right?
Yeah.
Was there
I don't know
bad
what
last
it
issue?
was. Yeah, well, I stuck through the last 2 issues. It's the issue with me is that they're getting ready for KO. So, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for DC KO. But what they did with the Titans, I'm not a fan of. Like they broke up the Titans and they're all just like doing their own thing. And I'm like, well, I got the Titans to see them be the Titans, not to do their own thing. So like the last 2 issues were Beast Boy and Cyborg doing their own thing together. And I'm like, oh, that's fine and all, but they're back with the Doom Patrol, like doing stuff with Doom Patrol. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but like I'm not really a Doom Patrol guy. I'm a Titans guy. I want to see the Titans do Teen Titan stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, so I dropped it, and maybe I'll pick it up when things get back on track. But honestly, with KO coming out and the next thing I'm talking about coming out this month, I need to make space in my pull list for money, to be honest. So I've had to do that to a couple different series. One of them that actually came to an end without me knowing it was the end of it was Daredevil, which I have been so love-hate relationship with. I loved it at first, and then as I've told you on the show, it fucking just dragged on for months, dude. Like, it just went way too long with the first story, and then it started, like, getting its teeth into something new, and then it just ends. And I have to read the last issue. It actually just ended last Wednesday. So I have to read the last issue still. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of glad it's over. Sadly, I hate to say that about Daredevil because I love Daredevil. But, man, it really did get to a point. But it was one of those things where it's like you already invested so much into it. You have to get to the end. You know what I mean? So it was like,
That was. I feel like I'm going to butcher his name. Is it Saladin Ahmed?
yeah, it was. He had such good groundwork to start with. And the first, like, 5 issues were solid. But when he's battling all the sins and this should be about maybe like a 6-issue story arc, and we're on issue 19 of it. It's like, all right, come on. What's happening here? Like, what are we doing?
So, full disclaimer, I am not familiar with Saladin Ahmed's work, but every time I go on YouTube and I get a comic book video recommended to me, and it's like Daredevil adjacent or anything like that, most of the time it's, wow, I can't fucking wait for this Daredevil run to be over. It fucking sucks. It's the worst Daredevil run ever. Fuck you, Saladin Ahmed. And I'm like, is it really that bad?
So
like,
it's not like the worst thing ever. It just felt like it dragged on. Like, imagine a TV show taking what should be like a 3-episode arc and turning it into like a season and a half. You know what I mean? Where it's like, all right, I already invested all this time into it, and it should have ended like a year ago, but it's like, I gotta see how it ends. And then when it finally ends, it's like, oh, we're gonna get into a new topic. And then when the new topic starts, it's like, well, it's canceled. So it's like, what the hell, man? Like, what did I just waste my time for? So I literally picked it up, and I went to go cancel it from my pull list, and then I noticed this was the last issue for Solicit, so it's done. So I was like, okay. And then I look at the reviews on League of Comic Geeks, and everyone's like, this last issue, like, tied up no ends. Like, it still ends so open-ended. Literally nothing's finished, so I'm, like, scared to read it. But I have to. It's the last issue, so. But on the flip side of that... Oh, sorry.
Right. No, so I was going to say, like, I was going to say, speaking of, like, ongoing titles, did you get to read Batman #1?
I did not. Drew has it. I did not get to read it.
Oh my goodness.
I heard it's fucking amazing. Everyone is saying it's sold like a shit ton of copies too.
So I reviewed it on League of Comic Geeks. I give it 5 stars. Like, it was a no-brainer.
That seems to be the general consensus about issue 1.
Yeah, there was absolute no-brainer to me.
It's one of those things I feel like I should pick up and jump onto. You know what I mean? Because now I got the space. Because now, like, the Ultimate world is ending. That ends at the end of this year, so it's like I have space emptying out on my list. So maybe I'll add on Batman, to be honest.
I think it's worth it.
I'm reading Superman currently. It's the best Superman run in God knows how long. So if I could bring Batman on, I mean, I haven't read Wonder Woman. Sorry, Tom King. I stopped reading Wonder Woman. I couldn't take it. But I'm down to read Batman, though. That's for sure.
I loved it. I loved it. And it was John, actually, who took John from Comic Book Click through True Radio. He was like, hey man, come on, like, stop being a pussy and just like
just jump on.
You say pick an ongoing title. Like, you've been saying, like, for how many years now that you're gonna do it. Like, this is a new #1. It's like a new creative team. It's a new Batman. Like,
this is
give
the
it a shot.
Too, if there was any other time.
And I'm glad he talked me into it, because when I read issue #1, I was like, yeah, this was great. Like, I really don't regret anything.
Yeah.
This is my first quote unquote Matt Fraction comic book. Actually, this was my first Jorge Jimenez comic book as well.
Oh, really?
Jorge is an amazing artist.
He's fucking
amazing,
dude.
His interiors are unbelievable. I like the way that he depicts, the Gotham, like, skyline.
Yeah.
And Matt's writing so far, I mean, is really tight. It's really tight. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I put Jimenez up there with, like, Dan Moore as, like, some of the greatest modern artists that we have right now. And I'd put that up there also with Humberto Ramos too. Humberto Ramos is still, like, fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Like, we are in, like, I think we're reaching, like, another golden era of, like, artists right now, because we're seeing, like, a lot of creativity and a lot of uniqueness, especially with things like the Ultimate Universe and the Absolute Universe. We're getting so many different flavors of art right now that it's like, if you look at my pull list for next week, I pulled it up here. I have Absolute Green Lantern this Wednesday, Absolute Superman, Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate X-Men, and X-Men Age of Revelation #1. And all of those books look different from one another. They all have their own feel, their own vibe, and I fucking love that we're getting towards that nowadays again, where every comic feels, like, unique to the artist. And you can see it and be like, oh, this is so-and-so's art. Like, I remember buying the tin can for the Superman movie at the movie theater and just being like, oh, that's fucking Dan Mora's art. And it was. He does all the promotional art for the Superman movie that came out. So I was like, that's cool. You're able to recognize that. So, actually, speaking of Humberto Ramos, I have been on the event train recently, and I am picking up X-Men, the Age of Revelation. And I read issue 0. They dropped like a surprise drop in June of this. I knew this was coming out. And then in June or July, they dropped like issue number 0. And I didn't know about it. And they talk about it in one of the later X-Men issues. Like, did you pick up your surprise drop? And I was like, no, I didn't. Like, fuck. So I had to go to Wayne and be like, hey, can I reorder Age of Revelation number 0, please? And he's like, yeah, and he got it for me. And dude, this is a lot of fun. I think a lot of things someone said it perfectly in League of Comic Geeks, where X-Men likes to focus a lot on like the political aspect now and things like that, where like they're fighting with the government on if they should belong. And that's kind of like X-Men's main focus the past, 10, 15 years? But it's getting back to like that 90s, that like later 90s aesthetic of just like X-Men doing cool shit. You know what I mean? Like how we had Age of Apocalypse, where it was like a weird dystopian mutant future and all that. That's what this is. And I saw this and I was like, isn't this just like another Age of Apocalypse? Like that's what a lot of people are asking. Isn't it just another version of that? And Jed MacKay actually talks about it in the issue 0. And he says, yeah, this was my concept idea for the 30th anniversary of Age of Apocalypse, to create the Age of Revelation. So I was like, that's cool. It's like an homage to the Age of Apocalypse on its 30-year anniversary. And it's with Revelation, Douglas Ramsey, who is the son of Apocalypse. So it's a very cool concept. Cyclops is like super dystopian. He's missing a fucking eye. He's all burned and everything. He's all bearded out. Like, it looks cool. It looks really cool. Wolverine has like a adamantium mask on him. Like, it looks insane. And the way they size it up, man, like big names, I don't want to spoil anything, but like big names die that they just like say in the pages. They're like, oh, so-and-so's dead now. And you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So yeah, and that dude with the armor and the helmet with the giant gun in the back, that's Glob, like the comedy character Glob. He has like a giant fucking laser rifle and like military helmet, and he's all serious in it now. It's pretty cool. And that's a Beast. He's all like whited out because he's older. It's cool. So this is their current event. It actually kicks off in October at the time of this recording. So issue 1 comes out actually this Wednesday from the time we're recording this. So I'm really excited to jump into it. Writers Jed MacKay and Humberto Ramos doing pencil work on it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And Zorn's the main person in this. It follows Zorn, which I fucking love Zorn. Like, they're finally doing something with him again. So, yeah, highly recommend Age of Revelation.
Which is awesome, because he was my favorite in New X-Men, and man, that reveal still pissed me off. Let's not get into
it. So, yeah, no, look out for that. And then another thing I've been on. So, I went to New Hampshire, and as usual, I get my usual, like, comic pack of books, things that the mystery bags. And I actually scored 2 really cool things in the mystery bag this time. Usually it's like a cool thing here or there. One thing was I picked up, or it was inside the mystery bag, Batman Superman number 12. Beautiful Michael Turner art. So I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. I'll happily take that.
Very nice.
It's a $3 mystery pack. And then they also had this too, man. Silver Age Classics. Justice League number 28.
So what is that, like a reprint?
It's a
like
reprint.
Single issue reprint? Okay.
Yeah, it's a single issue reprint of this number 28 that they did back like in the 90s. They were just like reprinting DC issues. So I was like, that's cool to have.
That I mean, that might be worth like a little bit.
A little bit,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Probably not
Maybe
like
a
an
little
insane
bit.
amount, but like a little
bit. No.
And something that was cool, this piqued my attention. I was at a collectible store that opened in Connecticut. And they had like a small short box of comics. I was like, I'm going to look through it. And they had Spider-Man 2001 Annual, right? So I was like, that's cool. And then I saw the art and I was like, that art looks very familiar. And when I grabbed
it does.
I was like, that is the Spider-Man PS1 cover art.
It is.
So I grabbed it immediately. I was like, fucking yeah, dude. Like, without question. It was like $4, so I grabbed it. Just for that. And I flipped through the issue. It's like a nothing issue of like him and Mary Jane just like being in love. I'm like, the good old days when they were in love. So like, I was like, oh man. But I got it really just for the cover because I love the Spider-Man PS1 game. So I thought it was a cool little piece of history. I didn't know it was printed on a comic cover. I thought that was just for the game. So like finding that out was kind of like mind blowing to me personally. And then the last 3 things here. All right. I don't know if you have this in Canada, but here in the U.S. we have a thing called Goodwill. I don't know if you have a Goodwill.
Not a Goodwill, but I mean, like, it's a thrift store, right?
Yeah, it's just a thrift store. If you guys have Goodwills, definitely check out your Goodwills because they have books there for 99 cents. And I was there looking at DVDs, and I was like, let me look at the books. And they had comic books. And they were so recent. I bought them on 9/28, which is a day before this recording. The sticker on had the label of 9/28. So someone brought them that day, and I bought them up. And when you see what books I got for 99 cents, bro, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
That does sound kind of wild, actually, yeah.
For 99 cents, I got volumes 1 and 2 of Transmetropolitan.
Are you fucking serious?
For 99 cents each, volumes 1 and 2. And this is the big one. This is one I've talked about with you on here saying I've been wanting. We talk about it, I said it's a piece of history. And I finally own it for 99 cents. Mouse. I could finally add Mouse to my collection, bro. I was like, no fucking... Dude, it's like in perfect quality too, man. Like, it's brand fucking new, dude.
Show me the 2 volumes of Transmetropolitan again.
Transmetropolitan issues 1 and 2, Lust for Life and Back on the Street.
Dude, those are in really good quality.
Dude, they're brand new. Like, this dude brought them. I had to take the Goodwill sticker off the spine, but it came off super easily. But yeah, dude.
I can still see the shine on them.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking perfect. The pages are like pristine. I like flipped through them before and I was like, make sure there's no like mold on them. But yeah, no, they're like pitch perfect, dude. For 99 cents.
I'm so jealous. Like, you're buying like a fucking trade paperback for $1. It doesn't get any better than that.
Dude, I walked up to the register, handed $4 in cash over. I was like, thank you. Like, I got 2 volumes of Transmetropolitan and Mouse, like an iconic book. So
for $4. Amazing.
So I'm going to go back in a couple days. Hopefully someone brings more in. Because I was like, holy shit. Because I looked at some. They also had like kids comics. So I was like, oh, man, dude, I want to see what they got there. I love me some Captain Underpants as a kid. So I was like, yo, they got Captain Underpants? I got to double check.
Bro, I would hit up thrift stores like once a week if I were you. Like,
yeah, well, I didn't even know Goodwill had... So I knew Goodwill had like individual comics. That's where I got Marvel's Red Sonja. I got it there for it was like 2 issues of that and then like 4 issues of like Star Trek. I was like, I don't give a shit about that. But I wanted like the issue, or it was 1 issue of Red Sonja. I was like, I want that issue of Red Sonja from Marvel. Like, that's cool from like the 80s. So I grabbed that immediately. But then I didn't know they'd have fucking trade paperbacks for 99 cents. I was like, get out of here. A day before recording, I was like, perfect timing. This could have been any more perfect.
I mean, you can't get a better deal than that. You really can't.
Oh man, dude.
It's
but
incredible.
Besides that, before I get to my last thing, anything else you've been collecting and reading?
Reading, no. Collecting. That's what I'm trying to look, because I'm like, did I mention these last month? Because I feel like I bought a lot last month.
I know you did. You did mention a bunch of graphic novels you picked up last month.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember which ones I mentioned and which ones I didn't. And I bought some like recently as well.
Yeah.
I bought 2 actually off of Amazon.
Oh.
Which I've never done before.
I've found Amazon's pretty reliable.
Yeah, so for a while I was really scared because I was reading reviews and people were like, don't buy comic books off of Amazon. Every time I buy comics on Amazon, they're fucking busted. They're in bad condition. You know, blah, 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 blah. But then I was like, you know, are they ordering directly from Amazon or are they ordering from a third-party seller on Amazon?
Yeah, it's tough to know.
So I was like, okay, like, let me just give it a shot anyway. So occasionally I like to look at their warehouse deals.
Yeah, those are the best.
That's like, yeah. And they had 2 comic books actually on their warehouse deals. They had one that I actually saw at my my local comic book guy. And he was selling it, which consider the fact that it was out of print, like, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was still expensive, but I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then I went on Amazon and I was like, man, that's a lot less than what he quoted me for. I'm sorry, man. I like saving my money. So what I ended up buying off Amazon was the Telesaga, which is like, again, like an all ages kind of fantasy adventure book. and it was drawn by Mike. Oh, I'm gonna butcher his name.
Hawk.
And forgive me
Mike
because
Hawk.
Mike. It was drawn by Mike Cock. I
Yeah,
think
we
it was
got
drawn.
him.
Mike Waringo. Oh, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but he passed away a couple years ago. But he's a great artist. He's a great artist. It was the art that really drew me into.
Oh, yeah. He drew 0 Hour Flash.
Yes. He's a
Yeah.
very well-known artist. He's a very well-known
and
artist.
Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen his Fantastic Four stuff.
But I got the book basically because of the art. I was like, man, this looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping that the story is good because I'm very impressed by the art.
Man,
And the other book that I bought was this one I've been eyeing for a while. And the reason why I've been eyeing it is because it is drawn by a former lead singer of the Misfits.
What?
Who is my all-time favorite band. Okay?
What?
Let me set you the timeline, okay? Danzig, obviously, original lead singer of the Misfits. Danzig leaves, Michael Graves comes in.
Uh-huh.
Michael Graves is the one that I would say most people remember. Most people got into the Misfits because of Michael Graves. I mean, the ones who weren't, teenagers or adults like in the 70s or
Was
the
it
80s.
Graves on Nitro?
Yes, exactly. That was the
Okay.
Graves era. That was on
Yeah.
Nitro. Yeah, that was on
Iconic.
WCW Nitro. Graves leaves, and then they fill in Graves for a short period of time before the band goes on hiatus, and then Jerry Only takes over vocals. Jerry Only being the bassist.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who fills in for Michael Graves is John. Again, I'm gonna butcher his name. It's Kafari, John Kafari. I think that's how you say his name. John Kafari and his wife Susan Kafari draw and write Sweetie Candy Vigilante. And I was drawn by that because, like I said, John was one of the lead singers in the Misfits, and I was like, oh wow, he does comic books? That's pretty cool. So I looked at it, and I was looking at the art, and I was like, I really like the art in this.
You're like, this
It's
does look awesome.
like, it's really cool. It's really colorful. It's really vibrant.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something about it where I was like, this really appeals to me.
And this looks kind of recent.
So I got the first volume of the paperback, so that would have been like 2023.
That's crazy.
The second volume is still ongoing, I believe. But yeah, I picked up the first volume, and I'm looking forward to seeing, what it's about.
Some of these covers are crazy.
Yeah, like
Some of these covers are crazy.
It reminds me a little bit. I mean, just like looking at the art, it reminds me a little bit of like Lollipop Chainsaw, like the video game.
Yeah.
It has that kind of vibe to it.
This book is definitely like a love letter to like 90s bad girl comics. I fucking love this. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, they
It
got
really is.
they got J. Scott Campbell to do a cover.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I bought that, and I'm very excited to deep dive into it and see if I like it or not.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. This looks fucking dope. Let me know how that is.
Yeah, and
'Cause
I
this
mean,
looks
if it's
sick,
good,
dude.
I'll recommend it to you. I don't know if I mentioned this last month. I also bought it's a book called The Wizard's Tale, and it's by Kurt Busiek.
Really?
It's
I don't know if
an
you mentioned
independent. It's an independent book that he did, and it came in highly recommended by my comic guy.
Really?
He's like, you got to read this. You got to read this. It's so good. It's so good. And I was like, okay. I mean, I'll buy it just because you told me like to buy it.
Yeah.
and you recommended it to me so much. I was like, okay. I mean, I won't fight you on that.
Oh man. Well, the last thing I got is a big one. And it is Deadpool Batman #1. This one's from Marvel. This is Marvel's print of
Right.
Deadpool Batman, and then this month, October, that's coming up, the month coming up here, will be Batman Deadpool from DC. Now, what I'm curious about, because all of the books that they said were coming out, like the stories, were all in here. So I'm curious if the next issue by DC is going to be the same characters with different stories, you know?
Mhm.
Because they only announced, like, Wonder Woman, Captain America, freaking Jeff the Shark, and Crypto. So it's like, are they just doing another story with those guys just in this DC one? I don't know. But this one, it's a mixed bag. It depends what you're looking to get out of a DC Marvel crossover, right? This book is definitely a test the waters and see what people think. And so far, it's had a very positive response, me included.
Okay.
Because it's not you're getting short stories. You're getting, like, some of them are like 2 pages, 3 pages, just to see, like, get the vibe of what people think. And it's not like this person versus this person. It's not like Green Arrow versus Daredevil. It's Green Arrow and Daredevil. You know what I mean? Like, teaming up together. And everything is everyone teaming up together, which I'm cool with, Get all the heroes on the same side. That's fine with me. But the best thing about this, like the highlight of this, definitely was Batman Deadpool. Because that was one I remember when it was announced, you and I talked about it on here, and we were like, of all characters, like, that's cool, but of all characters, you go Batman Deadpool? Like,
yeah.
But then you read this, and you're like, yeah, it was a good choice. Because if you really think about it, Deadpool's a character that can be beat up on by a DC guy, and think of it like wrestling. This is a guy that can be beat up and not lose heat. In wrestling terms, Deadpool can be beaten down by Batman and make a joke about it, and he's back to just being as popular as he ever was. If anything, he's more popular getting beat up by Batman. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So,
yeah.
And the big thing that had me nervous was it was Zeb Wells. So I was like, oh boy, we are hot off this Spider-Man run. But I think a lot of people, including me, forget Zeb Wells is popular because he's put out some good things in the past. And honestly, dude, this Deadpool Batman was like the good Zeb Wells. Like, it was clever. It had good jokes. The story, while being short, was simple, but also still entertaining. Like, I felt like Zeb had fun doing this one. Like, they just said, hey, Zeb, you can play with your Batman and Deadpool toys, make a story. You know what I mean? And honestly, it's not bad. And I'm happy that I'm not the only one that read this and we're like, yeah, Zeb actually hit it out the park. Because I was so scared. I was like, oh no. Like, I knew what to get from his Spider-Man run, but you could tell there was a lot of editorial on Spider-Man. This one, I feel like there is editorial, but not as much, shockingly. It's just a lot of fun. And plus, Capullo's art is fucking just icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Red Capullo.
And it's a fun story, it really is. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's a great thing where, like, Deadpool pulls out his swords to fight Batman, and everything he does, Batman, like, reverses it and, like, knees him in the gut, beats him up, and Deadpool's like, well, how about this? And then Batman, like, has a counter to it, and he just beats the shit out of Deadpool and ties him up, and Deadpool's like, all right, we're evenly matched, I know, and Batman's like, no, we're not. Like, you just got your ass kicked for 3 pages. No, we're not. But it's like, it's Deadpool being Deadpool, so. So it's a good time. Joker's in it. Joker's really fun in this one. Like, him and Deadpool, their banter is really fun. But yeah, I would say definitely check it out and read through all the stories for sure. I think the worst story of it, shocker, is the Frank Miller one. That one was fucking just bad. But luckily, it's only 2 full pages, and by full pages, I mean like 3 panels on each. Like, it's it's not good. It's not good. But like, it's labeled as Old Man Logan versus Dark Knight Returns Batman. So on paper, you're like, holy shit. Like, that's huge. You know what I mean? And then you read it, and it's Dark Knight Returns Batman, but then it's just a old Wolverine. It's not Old Man Logan. It's just Wolverine with gray hair.
I thought the punchline was, it's huge until you realize it's 2025.
Yeah, exactly. If this is like late 80s, early 90s, Frank, and you're like, oh shit, this is going to be amazing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just them trading insults for 2 pages, and it's like not even good insults. They're like, yeah, you old bag. Like, so weird, dude. It's so weird. But I think that's what also makes this whole book interesting, that even exists. Like, that the fact that that's in print in 2025 is fucking hilarious to me.
I mean, that's pretty tame compared to what Frank would make Batman say in the past.
Yeah.
What are you, deaf?
He probably. I saw what he said to Robin. All right, I saw what he said to Robin. But yeah, you can tell it's just like they told Frank, like, "Hey, Frank, can you just send us like a paragraph of what these guys would say to each other, and then just kind of like draw up some stuff with no backgrounds and bad coloring?" And he's like, "Okay, we'll pay you a shit ton of money."
No problem.
So, but yeah, no, I think the fun time, besides Batman Deadpool, the other favorite of mine, and it's the favorite of everyone too, honestly, was Kevin Smith's Green Arrow and Daredevil. That shit was fucking fun. I want an entire book of just them. Like, they were so good together. It was the best of Kevin Smith doing Daredevil and the best of Kevin Smith doing Green Arrow. Super sick. A lot of fun. I wish that one was as much pages as Deadpool Batman, because that one's the longest one, and then everything else is like maybe 8 pages, 4 pages, 3 pages, you know, it differentiates. But I wish that one was like half a book, because that one was a lot of fun. They use a lot of like color theory in that too for like the artists out there, which is with the red and green. Very cool.
I don't say this because I don't like Kevin Smith. I say this because I mean, for the most part, I like his comic book work quite a bit. My biggest problem with Kevin Smith is that he's so inconsistent with his comic book work.
Yeah, but that's why I said it's the best of him with Daredevil and the best of him with Green Arrow. That's why I did that differentiation.
Because like I mean, the fucking remember the Spider-Man comic he was supposed to write? He put out like one issue and then he got put on hold for like 25 years.
Yeah,
it's still ongoing.
Yeah. But
like,
then
he
like
only wrote one issue and that's it.
But then you read his Daredevil and it's like, whoa. And then you read like his current age quick stop stuff and it's like, okay. Like, Kevin knows what he's doing. When he really tries, he knows what he's doing. And that was him with this.
For sure. Like you
can tell he really put his heart into this.
Like, Guardian Devil is a great story. It really is.
I think what helps too with this, it's like, because Kevin through and through at the end of the day is a comic book fan. So like, he's a comic fan that gets to write Daredevil and Green Arrow coming together for the first time in the modern day. You know what I mean? Like, that's a cool thing. So you could tell he was excited writing it, but you can also tell he really wanted to write more. And I wish there was more. Like, at least half an issue. Give me the amount of pages as Batman Deadpool. But yeah, it was a really, really fun story. I think this is a great stepping stone, and I'm going to say something that actually this was mentioned by Comic Pop. If you guys don't listen to Comic Pop on YouTube, definitely go check them out. They point out something very interesting in this, and it's that in all the solicits for all the stories coming out, weirdly enough, there is no Superman or Spider-Man involved in anything. Like, anything. It is all everyone else. And next year is the anniversary of Spider-Man Superman, their team up from decades ago.
Oh.
What if, this was their theory, I'm going to say their theory, and I like the theory. What if DC and Marvel choose to do this yearly, and next year decide to do, instead of Deadpool, Batman, we get Spider-Man, Superman returning together? And that's their yearly one. Like, every year we get a big combo book. Because I think more so I like that theory because I just want this to come out every year. I think it's cool. I just like seeing them work together and being friends. Like, this is great. It makes me happy. And there's no, like, egos involved in it. It's just fun. Like, the way it was announced, too, was so just like, hey, it's going to be fun, guys. Just nonchalant. Hey, by the way, DC and Marvel are doing a combo book, by the way. Like, after, like, 20 years. I would love to see this yearly with, like, different combos. And give me a different amalgam character at the end of each issue. Like, we got Logo. By the way, dude, I told you when we brought up the logo thing, the new amalgam character confirmed, Logo. I remember sending it to you and I was like, yo, is this guy part of the amalgam universe? And you're like, the Logo name is so bad. And I said, well, I go, it falls in line with Thanoside. Tell me why Thanoside is in the fucking issue. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. No way. And it's confirmed it's a part of the amalgam universe because they mentioned Thanoside and all those sentry bots that they had, those amalgam sentry bots. And then they mentioned Super Soldier, which is the Superman Captain America villain. Logo says he's coming after him. So I'm like, holy fuck, it's officially a new Amalgam character after, what, 30 years? We're getting a new one? So I would like to see another new one made in the next issue for DC. Granted, from a fan of Amalgam, this amalgamation doesn't make sense. Because we already have a Lobo amalgamation, and we already have a Wolverine amalgamation. I don't want to get too deep into the woods, but this just doesn't make sense. Besides the point, it's just cool to see.
It's fucking brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
Like, I don't. I think they just forgot. They might have forgotten, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll leave it as it is. But it's funny to see. It's basically Lobo, but instead of like giant hooks that he throws around, he has giant chains that hook into his hands, and it's the Wolverine claws. So it is a cool character, but honestly, you read it, he just kind of reads like Lobo. So, because at the end of the day, it's basically just Lobo with Wolverine's hair that smokes a cigar, but Lobo also smokes. I don't know. I feel like they're too similar, but I'll take it, man. I'm just happy we're getting a new Amalgam character. I'll take whatever, because no one ever thought this was ever going to happen. I will just take anything at this point, you know? I have to be open-minded, because I'm happy it's just happening.
Yeah, friggin' Bastiche, bub.
Yeah. So, yeah, give me a new amalgamation character next month for DC's, and I'll be happy. Or let me see him fight Super Soldier. Let me see Super Soldier come back. That'll be really cool. I thought Super Soldier was a cool amalgamation character, so give me that shit. Fucking inject it in my veins, dude. Just give me an Amalgam book next year. Just relaunch it. Just relaunch Amalgam. Since the Ultimate Universe is ending, just relaunch Amalgam. Just give me it again.
Fill the vacuum that's gonna be left.
Exactly, man. Just people are gonna buy it. So just do it again. Do what you did last time. It was all a bunch of number ones. Just do it again. Make a bunch of number ones, and then that's the next volume of Amalgam. There we go. That's millions of dollars. Maybe not millions. Maybe. Close. It could be. If they're good. If they're good. But anyways, this month here, we're going to be looking at some of our personal recommendations for comics / graphic novels / omnibuses / whatever. Things that we have read that when someone says, hey, what do you like? What would you... Like, if I worked in a comic shop and some guy said, I'm open to read anything ever made, what are the 5 things you would want me to read personally? So we'll start with you. I have no particular order. I don't know if you do.
No, I don't either. No. This is just kind of like, I'm throwing it out there. I'm not ranking it. This is just what it is.
Well, let's start with yours. What's your list?
It was tough for me because I feel like I had to leave out some stuff that I obviously really like, but I feel like it's so overdone on these lists.
Yeah, that was my issue.
I'm looking at you, Watchmen. Like, I love Watchmen. Don't get me wrong. It's an all-time read for a reason.
But that's like it's like a must read almost. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta read it at some point.
Yeah, and it's like, even if you're getting into comic books, you're gonna hear about Watchmen every other YouTube video that you watch in a recommendation.
Until it's gonna be like top 3.
Yes, it's just, so to me, like, just leave that stuff out. Put stuff that you like personally that may or may not be talked about on the same level as like Watchmen, that transcends mainstream comic books. So I would start with like Battle Chasers, because I think that's a really good fantasy adventure story.
Very underrated too.
Oh man, when I read it, I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. Because I wouldn't.
Oh, I finished it, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So I'm really talking about the anthology, which is like the printing of, I believe it's the first 8 issues.
Yes, I did not read the last issues that were printed after the fact. I still have to read those.
Yes, first 9 issues.
Yes,
I haven't read any of the issues after that, which I think came out like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Let me see.
Because I think the story is like done now. Wrapped up.
2023.
Right.
Battle Chasers issue 10 dropped in 2023, which is crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So I can't vouch for anything after like issue 9, because to me like this is the original run. But I can absolutely vouch for this. I mean, I think this is amazing. This is what got me into fantasy stories.
Yep.
Full disclosure. Like, I was not a fantasy type of guy like before this. After I had Battle Chasers, I was like, you know what? If it's a fantasy story and people say that it's really good, I will read it. And it's because I fucking love Battle Chasers. I love Battle Chasers so much that like I bought the video game.
Yeah, I have the game too, man. I'm so happy
bought
that
the video
exists.
game. Bought the video game and I put I mean, it's easily like 100-hour game, if not more. I put like 20 hours into it so far.
Oh wow, really?
Somewhere around that. Yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun game. So yeah, I would really recommend Battle Chasers Anthology if you can find it. Trade paperback. Danger Girl. You already know how much I love Danger Girl.
Yes, that's another trade paperback if you get your hands on it. That's how I read Danger Girl. Was a trade paperback.
That's a trade paperback that's very hard to get your hands on now because it hasn't been reprinted in a while.
Yes.
Your best bet would be to get it the original run in single issues.
Yeah, because okay, that's the one I have. I have the Ultimate Collection. Which holy shit, this is that expensive?
Yeah, so I got it for $50 Canadian, the hardcover. It probably goes now like on the secondary market, on the resale market, for well over $100 Canadian.
Dude, I'm looking at the soft cover one. That's like, it's $100.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Holy
like,
fuck.
On the resale market, like the paperback and the hardcover of Danger Girl, like the original run, is well over $100. Well over.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't know because I got this for regular price. I got it for cover price.
Listen, man. I got it for $50 Canadian, and I was like, "This is a deal. This
I'm not sure if like the shop I got it from like knew. Like I just like because they just had it with their other trade paperbacks, and it's not like a shop that doesn't know what they have. It's one of those shops that like know what they have. Maybe they just like were like, "Fuck it, whatever." But yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea. Holy shit! I thought this was just like available. You can just get this. Holy fuck! I gotta cherish this thing now. I didn't know it was so like expensive.
So same thing like Battle Chasers. Like Danger Girl has went on past the original run. I haven't read anything past the original run as of yet. I will eventually, but the only thing I can vouch for again now would be issue 1 to issue 7, which is what they collect in the trade paperback. But like I said,
I'm gonna go out on a limb, man. I'm gonna say it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna say it.
No, it's all good.
I think while Danger Girl's not on my personal recommendations, it is on my honorable mentions. I will say that out right now. It is probably, besides, things like Invincible and Savage Dragon, it is up there as one of my favorite like independent projects ever done. And I'm very upset
easily.
It hasn't been translated into any other media. I'm like genuinely heartbroken by that because it is so good and it could translate so well. And I'm like, if I was rich, if I had money, I would want to throw this at J. Scott Campbell and say, let's make this animated show happen. Let's make this movie happen. Like, I would want to do that because I love this so much. Danger Girl is so good.
Tell me right now that Sydney Sweeney wouldn't play Abby Chase.
The entire trio that J. Scott Campbell put up on Twitter, all of those castings are perfect, which makes sense because he created them, but his castings were great. I wonder can I pull up that list he had? It was like a parody of the Avengers Twitter post where they showed all the chairs. But what I'll do is I'll put it on the video here. People see it. But yeah, he did have Sydney Sweeney as it was just, oh man, I'm really upset I can't find this.
But yeah, man, I feel like Sydney Sweeney as Abby Chase, like no brainer. Yeah, it's an absolute no brainer.
No brainer, dude. No brainer. And she'd be great. She'd be great as that role.
I love Danger Girl so much. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it still manages, because it's a parody. It's a parody of the action hero genre.
Yeah.
It's essentially both a parody of James Bond, Charlie's Angels, You know, it parodies, I would say, the golden age of like 70s like action movies.
Yeah, it's
But
perfect.
but at the same time, it still manages to tell an engaging and coherent story, and
Yep.
all the characters are really memorable,
Yeah, and
and it's
everyone's
a lot of
unique.
fun. And it's a lot of fun. Like the art is so dynamic. There's always something going
And
on.
it's one of those books that like I think people can easily see it that hate on 90s art and say, "Oh, it's another one of those like bad girl books of the 90s." But when you read it, it's for a reason. Like they do stuff
Yeah,
for a reason cuz they're spies,
it,
they're secret agents and they use it to their advantage. Like
and
there's a reason why they do what they do.
it's really not a quote unquote like edgy book.
No, it's
There's
not.
there's
It's a spy
some
book.
there's some there's some violence,
Yeah.
but it's not like edgy violence or over the top or anything like that.
The
It's a
same
spy
way
book.
we see Abby Chase's curves is the same reason why we see James Bond's abs and everything. You know, what I mean? That's just
Yes.
how it is. You know, like that's the genre of what it is. But it's that, but just gender flipped, which I feel like nowadays people would eat up.
Yes,
A female
absolutely.
trio James Bond movie, like come on, that's
It,
all
it
you have.
would
That's how you have to pitch it, and people would be like, yeah,
it, it would be sick. But please read Danger Girl. And if you
yes,
can't find the trade paperback, collect the first issue to the seven in single
yes,
issues. My number three would be New X-Men, the whole series. So like if you
okay.
can get it in omnibus format, or if you get all the trade paperbacks, get New X-Men. Um, I
That's what
haven't.
Drew's been wanting to pick that up for a bit.
Yeah, so like I've read bits and pieces of like the Claremont era, the Jim Lee era. I
Mhm.
haven't read all of it. I have read all of New X-Men. That's why I'm recommending New X-Men.
Yeah.
And I love New X-Men. I mean, it's even with the ending, which I do feel is a little unsatisfying. I don't think it's a bad ending.
Yeah.
I just feel it's a little unsatisfying. Even with that in mind, I still think this is a fucking great book. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the new characters that they introduce. Um, I love Frank
Costumes
Whiteley's
rule.
art. The costumes rule, yeah. Grant Morrison's writing is as batshit crazy as it's ever been. I mean, he does an entire like issue where like no one talks, and it's
Yeah.
actually one of the best issues in the whole
Really?
run. It's fantastic. Like
That's fucking awesome.
it's fucking great. Like no one says anything, and it still manages to tell like an extremely again coherent story. My favorite, my favorite moment actually in New X Men, just because it's funny. Wolverine is at the Hellfire Club,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like this fucking stripper. Him and Scott are both watching like the stripper. It's all right, man. I gotta go to the bathroom, take a piss, whatever. Blah blah blah. He goes to the stall. Another guy walks in, whatever, takes a piss. Like really tall guy walks in next to him, takes a piss. Wolverine looks up. He's like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" He realizes who it is. It's Sabretooth. It's Sabretooth, right? And they're both like in the stall taking a piss.
Yeah.
And this isn't verbatim, but Wolverine pretty much told him like, "Man, if it wasn't for the fact we're at the Hellfire Club and it's like sacred ground, like I would be kicking the ever loving shit out of you right now." Sabretooth kind of like just
This is a
zips up
classic
his
place.
cock. He just zips up his cock and he's like, "Whatever, man." Then he just leaves.
He's like, fuck.
I just loved how nonchalant that was. But then you also get this. You also get like an amazing issue of like again we talked about Zorn.
Yep.
Zorn was by far the best new character that was introduced in New X-Men.
Who's
And there's
still
an
around today, and he's still in the same outfit from New
Yeah.
X-Men. Like he's lasted that long.
And there's an entire issue where he's like the star of it, and he's describing like this kid who is mutating, and he's not in control of his mutation, and he's like scared because he
Mhm.
doesn't really know like what's going on or what's happening, but he's like mutating, and Zorn is kind of like he's like the narrator of like what's going on and what's happening. And the issue, I mean, spoiler alert for anyone who like hasn't read this, so like if you want to cut or anything, like feel free. But
Spoiler alert.
the issue ends with the cops coming into Mutant Town and shooting the kid, killing the kid basically while he's
Jesus
like in his
Christ.
mutation form, because he's like rampaging throughout the town, right? And they can't stop him, so the cops like kill him. And Zorn, like, as he's narrating, he's like, I just wish I could have gotten there in time. I just wish I could have gotten there and like told the kid that he was gonna be okay, and we could have taken him and we could have given him shelter and given him an education. Like, I just wish I could have been there. That's a fucking great issue. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you get a lot of moments like that in New X-Men. My number 4 would be the original Sentry run by Paul Jenkins.
I had a feeling that was going to be on your list.
I, again, love that run. Absolutely love that run. Not just for Paul Jenkins' writing, which is amazing, but also for Jay Lee's art, which is also great. This is around the time where he was, I would say, like, softening his art, because, like, if you remember Jay Lee stuff in the 90s, it was very, like,
it was crazy.
You know what I mean? It was really crazy. I loved it, though. But it was really crazy.
It's night and day compared to what you get from that and, like, Inhumans. It's, like, night and day.
Yeah, and... But I also, like, I like those two sides of Jay. I like that 90s side of Jay where he's like, I'm going to fully embrace, you know, all the crazy aesthetics of the 90s.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact that he was like, okay, like, let's try to be more polished. Let's try to be more, I guess, conforming in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think him and Paul Jenkins, like, really made a great tag team here. But the reason why I like the original Paul Jenkins run of Sentry more so than the others, this one focuses so much on Sentry's mental health. And not just his mental health, but also, like, my favorite issue actually is the crossover with Hulk.
Really?
That's my favorite issue of the whole run, because it goes deep into, like, his friendship with the Hulk. And it shows Hulk in, like, a very vulnerable light.
Yeah.
Where even in the issue, Hulk is like, because they have to fight the Void together, and Hulk is like, well, I don't really know if, like, I can do this by myself without, because he calls him the Golden Man. He's like, I don't know if I can do this without the Golden Man. And he's, like, scared, and it's almost like he reverts to, like, this childlike state.
Yeah. Damn.
And it is like really fragile and raw, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, I just love that. I love that we get to see that side of Hulk, and I love that Paul is not afraid of, like, going into the vulnerabilities of not just Sentry, but also the heroes that he's writing
Every time I hear the name
alongside
Paul, I
Sentry.
shudder a little bit.
Not that one. Not that one. Paul Jenkins. But yes, Sentry again, amazing. The original run, the trade paperback, very easy to find because it's still being reprinted.
Yes.
It's still being reprinted, so...
Yeah, I was actually at Barnes & Noble the other day, and they had it there.
Yeah, so I mean, please
seek
it out, because I don't think you'll regret it.
And I think because of Thundercats, too, if you were to get, like, the single issues, they are so inflated right now still.
Right?
Because of Thunderbolts coming out, so...
All right, my last one. This was a tough one, but I'm going to go with Marvel Knights Punisher by Garth Ennis. The reason why is because I haven't read Punisher Max yet. I know that it's great from what everyone's told me, but I can't put something that I haven't read yet on my list.
On the list. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. That's the same way with
me. But I have read Marvel Knights Punisher, which is the first foray of Garth Ennis, like, writing Punisher. Again, this is great. This is really great stuff. And Punisher Max, from what I know, is, like, really serious. Plays it very straight.
Yeah, from what I hear.
Marvel Knights is the complete opposite. This is like if you drop Punisher in, like, a fucking Looney Tunes world. I mean, every issue is, like, fucking crazy. And you've got that. I mean, it's Steve Dillon, who also worked with him on Preacher as the artist. a lot of people don't like Steve's art, but I do. I necessarily like his art because I think it works well with Guard's writing.
Yeah.
Especially for Guard's sense of humor. Because Marvel Knights Punisher has a lot of slapstick humor in it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, Punisher jumps into fucking Brooklyn Zoo and starts fighting a polar bear and like I think it's the first issue. He jumps in the fucking zoo and he starts fighting a polar bear. He's doing it because he's trying to get the polar bear angry, so the polar bear runs after the fucking mobsters. And the polar bear does, and he ends up fucking biting all the limbs off of Manucci.
What the
fuck? Then you get the famous panel of Manucci like in the hospital bed, like without any of her limbs. Again, like this is such a great book. I'm trying to remember exactly like how long it is. Garth kind of takes a break in between, but I would not recommend reading those issues where Garth is not writing because they suck.
Like just skip those and then come back when he comes back.
Please
go on vacation
do not
with him.
Read those. Yes. I think overall Garth writes about 45 issues of Marvel Knights Punisher.
Oh, okay.
There's an omnibus.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah, there's an omnibus of it. So if you can find it, please, again, seek it out. Because, number one, it's really funny. And number two, it is really good. Like, it manages to tell like a lot of good stories in between, because it also introduces characters like Jane and Spectre Dave, who were also introduced in the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. The Thomas Jane Punisher movie takes quite a bit from this run, actually.
Oh, does it?
It takes quite a bit from this run.
From the cover, it just looks like Thomas Jane. Like, you can tell they definitely pulled heavily from it.
Yeah. I mean, they even took the story beat where Dave gets all the piercings ripped off his face. I mean, they do it in the movie, which they got it from the book. Yeah.
That was such a brutal scene.
Yes, it is.
And shit. He didn't say a word. I was like, that's a loyal friend right there. That's a loyal friend.
I'll say one spoiler. So spoiler alert if you want to time this.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite moment in the series comes when he fights off a bunch of people for Jane. Jane and Dave are both his neighbors. They both live in the same apartment complex or building that Frank does. Initially, they don't know what he does, but they find out what he does. And instead of like being afraid, they're like kind of relieved because they know like the area is kind of a shithole. So they're like, oh, okay, thank God. Like, we won't have to worry about anything, right? We've got the fucking Punisher living next door to us.
Yeah.
But Frank is kind of like, he's like the opposite. He hates the fact that he's grown attached to them. So at the same time, he's trying to get them out of harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
He finds like a bunch of money, and I can't remember exactly how. It's been a while since I've read it. He ends up finding a bunch of money and he gives it to Jane, and he goes, "Just move out into the country, buy yourself a house. You always talked about how you wanted a house on the lake with ducks. Do it. This is your money. Go. Like, I don't want you living here anymore."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, aren't you gonna come too?" And he's like, "No, trust me. You do not want me to come, because if I go with you, they're gonna find me. Because they always find me."
Damn.
So she, ends up buying the house on the lake with the ducks. And later on, you get an issue where Frank visits Jane at her new house, and it's really nice. It does get, raided. They find out where Frank is, but Frank, manages to fight them off and everything like that. But it was really cool to see, like, a Punisher side character that Garth Ennis wrote that, like, didn't die, suffer, or like have something horrible happen to them. It's like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Oh wow, he gave him a decent bare minimum like human real life.
It's like, oh, this is great, Garth. This is cool. We should do
thanks,
this more
Garth.
often.
You didn't torture him. Thanks.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Is it not like Detective Soap, anyways, who's always the butt of the joke? Because he's a cop, so he always has to be the butt of the joke.
Of course.
There's a there's a lesbian cop as well, but she's like extremely attractive, of course. And
Yeah.
Detective Soap is always hitting on her, and she's always like,
Fuck off.
just leave me, just leave me alone. Just fucking leave me
You
alone.
are barking up the wrong tree, buddy.
But the dynamic is so funny. She's like this, super hot lesbian cop. She's like super macho, like guns blazing and all that. And Detective Soap's like a massive fucking pussy. This massive pussy, like pisses himself just at the thought of like shooting someone.
That's the best trope.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Well, before we do our honorable mentions, I did want to mention my top 5 here. So my top 5.
Yeah, I went too long with mine.
No, you didn't at all. You didn't go too long at all.
Okay.
I just thought you do your top 5 and then I do mine, and then we'll do our honorable mentions after.
Yeah, no, I was just worried I went too long.
No, not at all, dude. Not at all.
Okay.
So I decided to choose books that maybe people haven't heard of before. Granted, one of these on the list, you're going to hear what I just said and be like, you're a liar.
Really?
Yeah, because the first book on this list that is on my personal recommendations, but I will praise it to the heavens above forever and always. Invincible will always be on the top of that list because the show is so successful, everyone loves it so much, and it's so in line with the book. It's almost like if you're watching the show, you need to also read the book because there's so many goodies like hidden in the books that they don't fit into the show that are so much fun to read. And it's almost like if you do watch the show first and then you read through the book, man, you can hear the voices in your head because everything is like word for word, panel for panel, almost shot for shot in the show. It is the closest. This is the best way I could describe it. It is the closest to what people love out of animes and like mangas. This is the closest you're going to get with an American comic book because it has a beginning, it has an end. Yeah, there's some other like tie-in issues, but it doesn't throw off or confuse anything from the core 3 omnibuses that you can buy. And the adaptation of the media is accurate like you get with animes. You know what I mean? So if that's what you're a fan of, you like reading mangas, you like watching animes, this is what you should jump into. Absolutely. It has the character-driven story that you love from it. It's just so much fun to read, and it's so entertaining. It never gets boring, and it's fun if you also read other Image books because there's so many cameos in the Invincible universe that it's insane. Like, he's friends with Savage Dragon in this. Like, it's so great. I love it. And of course, as someone that loves Invincible and Savage Dragon, I love it. Invincible is my absolute, listen, controversial take. Before I recommend Watchmen to someone, I'm going to recommend them Invincible first. Might be controversial, but I don't
feel like that's controversial personally. I really don't.
Yeah, that would be my personal top. Like, if my stuff's not in a particular order, but if it was, that would be my number 1. Like, read Invincible. Like, I know it's probably cliche to say because the show's so good, but goddamn. That is a must read for anyone. And another one here, which we've talked about many of times on this show, do a power bomb.
I was thinking about putting it on. Yeah, like I love Do a Power Bomb.
It is so colorful. Each page is just so much fun to look at. And usually when it comes to like trade paperbacks, depending on the timing I start reading it, maybe I'll get to like halfway and I'll find a point to stop. And I'm like, all right, I'll get back to it. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow, I'll get some sleep, come back to it. But Do a Power Bomb, I just kept reading and kept reading and kept reading. And the pages are just so pretty to look at. Like the impact shots, the fucking moonsaults. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously this is your cup of tea. And goddamn, we've said it 100 of times, but this is the saddest story. Like, you will read this with a tear in your eye. And I don't get like that with comics. But with Do a Power Bomb, man, I finished reading it and I was like, I was fucking good. Like, I was like, God damn. Like, only with this book have I stopped reading it. And at the end gone, holy fuck. Like, that was great. That was like a life-changing comic. Like, that is so good. And I feel like it needs to be talked about so much more because it's a genuinely good comic book. Granted, it's one of the best wrestling comic books of all time, but just a comic in general, it is so good. It's such a good story. You don't even have to like wrestling to get it, which is what I love.
I'll one up you, Gabe. I don't think it's one of the best wrestling comics. I think it's the best wrestling
Absolutely.
comic of all time.
It is what you would call the Watchmen of wrestling comics. Like if you're a wrestling fan that digs comic book stuff, if you have not read Do a Powerbomb, man, go to your local store, buy it immediately. If you need to read it digitally, if you don't have room for physical, man, read it right now. Like, stop listening to this after my top 5 and go read Do a Powerbomb because it is so good, especially if you're a wrestling fan like us. Just, yeah, sing its praises to the high heavens. The next one here.
I feel like so many wrestling comics insult our intelligence. I did not feel that way with Do a Powerbomb whatsoever, because you can tell Daniel Warren Johnson is a real, genuine wrestling fan.
Absolutely. It blends wrestling and comic books, like superhero stuff, together very well. Like, there's a lot of superhero tropes in this mixed with wrestling. But because superheroes and wrestling have always been intermingled, it goes together so well. It doesn't talk down to you like you don't know what you're talking about, or it's like, oh, it's not made for like the people in the know only. You know what I mean? It's a good mix. He found that middle ground really well, where it can also attract readers that are just not into wrestling at all, that just like superhero stuff. You can read this and still get a very good story out of it. The only other wrestling comic book thing I've seen, which is also from Image. Shout out Image, who gives a lot of love to wrestling comics. They shockingly have a large catalog. It's a comic called Ringside. I read issue 1, and it's another book that kind of vibes that like comic book-y vibe with wrestling and intermingles it and doesn't like make you feel dumb or like talk down to you even though you know about wrestling. Like, they find that middle ground also. It's not on the same level as Do a Powerbomb, but it's still very good. I don't want to degrade it at all. It's still very well. So definitely check out Ringside too if you haven't. But Do a Powerbomb that's the one. That is the one. And we will forever talk about that book on the show until this show ends. This will be the most talked about book on our show for all time.
Absolutely.
The next one here is a character that I actually, it was because of this series actually that I fell in love with this character. And it's funny, it was because it was printed not even a part of the label the character was created with. This was a DC printed book of the 4-issue miniseries of Majestic, highlighting the new life of Mr. Majestic from Wildstorm. This was right after DC bought out Wildstorm, and they were really trying to figure out what to do with the Wildstorm universe, guys. And the whole premise of this book is that Majestic shows up from the Wildstorm universe. He's here now, and he's basically like Superman. He basically is Superman in a world with Superman. And he's trying to find his way back to the Wildstorm universe. He's trying to get back. And while he's here, he finds out about how people interact. He finds love. He finds friends. He finds enemies. But he finds what it's like to be human in this like world, this brand new world. And at the end of the day, he's presented with the question of, all right, do you want to go back to your world or do you want to live in this new world? And it's cool because not only is he like Superman, he interacts with Superman multiple times in this story. And look who's doing the beautiful covers here. Of course, Ed McGuinness, the greatest Superman artist of all time, doing Majestic. And yes, he is fighting the Eradicator in probably the coolest Eradicator costume of all time.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. So it's Majestic versus Eradicator. And because of this, he did get a short ongoing series with DC for a little while after, which I only have issue 1 of, but I want to dive into that after. But this was such a good, heartwarming 4-issue story. I would highly recommend it for a Superman-esque character, a guy who's very like stone cold trying to find humanity in himself, which is very, very fun to read. And the first issue actually is a great cover homage to Superman, which I'm a big fan of. That's what caught my attention when I saw it. When I got these from the dollar bin. These were a dollar bin find, and I ended up falling in love with the character. I now own the Mr. Majestic first appearance from Wildcats. I got everything Mr. Majestic. I got Mr. Majestic toys.
Here's
Like,
my here's my soapbox moment of the podcast. It's
mhm.
so ridiculous to me that they haven't reprinted any Mr. Majestic in trade paperback form.
Yeah, like
It's so ridiculous.
the people can't see this, but I'm talking to you right now on video, and I'm holding the 4 issues that were sold. They have not been reprinted. His individual series, you can only buy the individual issues. It's not reprinted, so it's tough, man, to get your hands on this stuff.
They all got trade paperbacks in the original run, but to my knowledge, the trade paperbacks also never got reprinted.
No, they did not.
So it was just, hey, if you didn't buy it the first printing, tough shit.
And like I said, I found these. I got lucky and found these. I just so happened to be in the shop that day and saw these in the front of the dollar bin, and they had all 4 there. You know, I got lucky and then ended up falling in love with the character. So I think it's a really fun read. Definitely recommend Majestic. It's a fun 4-issue mini. And then next on my list is to dive into his individual series after. But I'm speaking on the 4-issue mini because, like we said earlier, I'm not going to speak on a series I haven't read. But I am going to speak on this 4-issue mini. It's a great time. It's a quick read. You can get through it in a day. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend. The next thing I have here is actually, this one's more of a fun one that I don't know if people know exist. And this is channeling, as you know, we're on the CFG Streams YouTube channel, where it's all video games. This is actually a video game. Okay, it's a video game based on a comic, but the comic's based off the video game. And it is a small game that I own both physical copies of, even though I don't need to, called Freedom Force.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, dude. Freedom Force. It is an homage to the great Jack Kirby and his over-the-top, like, corny, vintage comic books. And that's, like, colorful characters, like, everyone's basically just, like a stereotype of what they'd be. You know what I mean? And it's so great. And I just so happen to own the 6-issue Image Comics series of Freedom Force. All 6 issues. I had to piece this together over a little bit of time, but I do own it. They got a little pricey, I'm going to be honest. But the cool thing about this that I love, I read the books, and then I started playing the game, and then I realized the game's cutscenes are the fucking comic book panels. So you can play the game while reading the book, and they're, like, saying the lines from the comic in the game. And the stuff is, like, almost the exact same panels in the game, which is so cool. So it's a lot of fun. It's actually the art, obviously it's not done by Jack Kirby, but it's done by Tom Scioli, who, as you know, is a big Jack Kirby enthusiast who even made the Life of Jack Kirby comic that came out, highlighting everything about Jack Kirby's life. His Jack Kirby inspired art it's fucking spot on when you look at it. Like, I don't think it really gets any closer than Tom Scioli doing Freedom Force. I was in the same building as Tom Scioli and forgot to bring Freedom Force to have him sign, which I'm very upset about looking back now. But I think it's a lot of fun.
would imagine you'll get that opportunity again.
I think so as well.
Imagine.
But, like, just looking at these covers, it's like, it's so Kirby-esque, you know what I mean? Like, it's so great. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Hold that back up again.
Yes.
He's almost drawn like, what's his name? Kamandi?
Almost, yeah.
It's kind of similar. You know,
and, like, come on now.
Tall, ripped guy with blonde hair. Yeah.
Come on, like, this is fucking great, dude.
So cool.
So great. So yeah. And it's cool. It advertises the game. It goes, advertising the Freedom Force Third Reich sequel game. So I have both the physical boxes of the games. So it's cool to have the comics to go with it. Freedom Force, and since then, obviously, I've played the game. The game's a lot of fun. It's like a strategy game. You got to, like, plan out how you use your characters and all that. And it's a lot of fun. It's very over the top Kirby inspired, everything, the game, the comics, all of it. I love it. It's a big love letter. I think it's very cool. And it's not collected anywhere, which really kind of blew my mind. You thought they would make the trade paperback for this when the game was popular, but they just sold the issues, and that was it. It wasn't collected anywhere, shockingly enough. You'd think it would be.
And to this day, right? Still in single issues, no trade paperback or anything like that. I find that very bizarre.
Some of these single issues got a little pricey, too, when I had to get them. Like, was it the last one? Like, some of them, let me see. let me just look at issue number 6, because like what the issue I was running into was, first of all, I kept being shown like Freedom Force, like Marvel stuff, and like other things, because Marvel had a group called Freedom Force. But yeah, like getting, how much is issue number 6 if you were to get it now? Because some of these, like, okay, I say pricey, but they were about like maybe like, okay, issue 6 goes for like $30, and that's about what I paid for it. For a single issue, that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Paying $30 for a singles issue, which is crazy, when that should be what the trade paperback is costing. But if you can get your hands in, if you do have the financial means to do it, I would definitely recommend piecing this together, because it is like a fun piece of history, and I would recommend reading the books and then playing the game, just so you can see the comparisons and hear what you just read, or vice versa, from the game, which is very cool. And the last thing here, which you're probably waiting for me to say, but wait
No,
till
not
the
at
last
all.
second. It's volume 1 and 2, because I got through volume 1 and 2, because volume 1 and 2 is the first real like collection of what he made of this character. It's a character that had a great history still to this day, but these issues were like seeing this artist really hone his craft and get good every single issue. And it is a little series called Mage. Mage is in my top 5 here. Yes. Mage is such a fun story. It's a story that I was reading this thinking it was made much later than it was. That's how like advanced it was story-wise. I thought this book was like a mid to like late 90s book when I first discovered it. And it's not. It's like a mid to late 80s book. But it's so advanced that when you're reading it, you're like, oh my God, like you would think this book was from the 90s. You know, like when that peak of comics were coming out, in the best of ways. It's so good. Matt Wagner is in how do I describe Matt Wagner? He is, I'm trying to think of the right word to describe Matt Wagner.
To me, he's in the pantheon of guys that both draw and write their own comics. He's an all-timer in that regard.
I think he's an all-timer, and you look at what he's made, whether it's this or Grendel, like he doesn't really miss. Like the stuff he makes, they're home runs. And while those are his 2 big claims to fame, that's kind of all you need. Grendel is still going almost to this day. Like they're still coming up with Grendel ideas. It's transformed over time. Mage has started and ended. I still have yet to read what he made after being picked up by Dark Horse later on, and what he printed with Image. But I can speak on what was his original run of Mage, his original idea, before he does the time jump. And it's tremendous. It's a tremendous story. Mage was one that I read it, and it makes you realize that, like, there's so many other things out there besides the generic superhero book. And especially as someone that loves to write and create comic books, it was so eye-opening that, like, oh, I don't have to just make superhero stuff. You can make really cool, unique ideas like Mage. Highly recommend Mage. Like, that is, if you're not reading Invincible, definitely read Mage. I have the version from 2017 that recolors everything compared to the original run. It has like that modern day coloring to it, so it's very vibrant and bright. All the inks are very dark. It looks really good. They did have later printings that also look just as good, but yeah, this 2017 printing's really well done. They do have other collected ones that are a lot thicker, but I like this one. This one's very fun to take in. And yeah, I have volumes 1 and 2. I'm going to jump on volume 3 after, but yeah, it was a good starting off point for the character, and it's a lot of fun to read. I even got my Mage merch on the shelf next to it. I got my Mage figure on the shelf. So that was my top 5 list.
I think that was a great list.
Yeah, I wanted to mix in some variety of things maybe people haven't heard of before, or things that I think people should be reading. But my honorable mentions are things people have heard of that are obviously must-reads. So what were some of your honorable mentions, if you had any?
I'll keep it brief. I'll give you 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you 2. I'll give you what I think. This might actually be a hot take. I'll give you what I think is the best Mark Millar Millar. I feel like we have this conversation every.
I feel like we always do, and I feel like we always get it wrong no matter what. I feel like both
Yeah.
are wrong at this point.
Millar,
Millar, please, hello, Millar.
But we'll just say Millar, Mark Millar. This is, I think, the best Mark Millar comic book, and it's called Huck, which is essentially his version, his analog of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's fantastic. It's the least edgiest Mark Millar comic book. Like, there's nothing edgy about it. You know, no one is trying to
good, wholesome read.
No one's trying to inseminate their sister through like surrogate pregnancy. Seriously, Mark, what the fuck was that? That was disgusting.
I have no fucking clue, man.
Yeah, that was.
I read that
really
on the
disgusting.
beach, and I was like, "What? The fuck?"
Fucking disgusting. No, Huck is great. Huck is just about this guy with superpowers who lives in a small town, you know, and he just saves people. That's really all he does.
He's just a good guy.
And he's trying to live a low-key life, but when people find out about him, they're trying to take advantage of him. And Huck is too nice of a guy to say no. It's kind of like the gist of the story, really, and it works so well. It's so good. I hope people give Huck a chance, because I feel like
Hashtag
in
give
the
Huck a
library,
chance.
exactly,
Huck
in
on
the
that
library of, God damn it,
Huck.
what a timely reference. I feel like in the library of Mark Millar, Huck is not talked about enough, and I think it's his best work. By far, I think it's his best work. Last one, Complete Darkness, Volume 1. I love this. Is it great? I don't know if I can say it's great. From a narrative perspective, I don't know if I can sit here to you and tell you that every issue is great. Is it a lot of fun? Yeah, actually, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's a ton of fun. The artwork is a ton of fun. The writing kind of starts off slow, but then it picks up like relatively fast. I mean, I just really like Darkness. You want to find out why people say that 90s comics were so fucking crazy? Read the first complete volume of Darkness.
And he's making a comeback.
Funny you say that. So I had written, I would say like a brief synopsis, a brief review. If you go to my League of Comic Geeks page, my pinned post is, it's called The Starter Pack. Me in comics. So, and then I just list like a bunch of comics that I really like. And in the write-up that I did for Complete Darkness, I said, and with Jackie showing up in the new Witchblade reboot this year, it feels like something exciting might be brewing again for the Darkness universe.
And
Here's hoping.
December.
And now this December, we're getting a new Darkness #1.
Could that be next on your new readings?
It's very possible. It's very, very possible.
I would recommend Witchblade too. The current Witchblade, I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
I would. And I will say part of the reason also why I like Darkness so much is because of the video games as well. The video games really made me a fan of Darkness, and then once I read the comics, I kind of appreciated the character more, because I was like, oh, okay, like the video games took like pieces here, pieces there. They put it in the game and they kind of refined it.
Which for years I didn't even know the game was based off the book. Like, I knew now looking at it, like, oh, the logo's the same, obviously. But like, I would always see Darkness look like Darkness, and then I'd see the game stuff and he's like in his suit, but he's not like in his costume. So I never thought it was like the same. The same way I didn't know Shadow Man was a fucking based off the Valiant books. Like, I had no idea, because they look so different from where they're pulled from that I didn't put two and two together my whole life.
What I love about the Darkness a lot is essentially like the Top Cow universe in general. Like, I just love the Top Cow universe, and the fact that there's like all of these quote unquote like artifacts. Like, the Darkness is an artifact. The Witchblade is an artifact.
Mm-hmm.
The Angelus is an artifact. Ian Nottingham. I forget exactly what his sword is, but his sword is like an artifact. And like you get all these cool like moving parts, and all these artifacts have like these really fleshed out backstories of like, hey, like these weapons go back like, never mind centuries, like thousands and thousands of years ago, and like Jackie, who's the darkness now, well, he wasn't actually the first darkness. And they actually like lean into that, where they do like what's called like the Tales of the Darkness, where they do like these kind of like prequel books to like give more backstory and fleshing out like the mythos of like the darkness universe.
Yeah.
And then you get to see like who the first wielders of the darkness were. Again, love this shit. Love the shit. Is it always great? No. But I think
like
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, but I think it's a lot of fun, and if you stick with it, I think it'll reward you in the end.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Well, for my honorable mentions, I had, obviously besides Danger Girl, as mentioned, I also had Battle Chasers on my honorable mentions. Love Battle Chasers, obviously.
I have that
question.
same edition.
Yep, it's great. It's a beautiful cover too.
It is.
Hubba. No.
Hello, Red Monica.
The next one here on my honorable mentions is one that you're probably going to expect from me on here, but it's one of those, like, even though everyone knows about it, I'm still going to tell people to read it no matter what, even though people know they should. Sin City. Absolutely love Sin City. Every edition I love, even though some of them may have had their flaws in it. I still love Sin City as a whole. I think it tells a great story. The art is beautiful. There's really nothing like it. Even to this day, it holds up really well. There's really still nothing like Sin City to this day. And yeah, definitely still recommend it. Holds up. And the last one here, we're going to stay in the Frank Miller realm, shockingly. While I wanted to give this man some love, because we do give Frank Miller a lot of heat on this show, all right? We do dog on him quite a bit, but sometimes rightfully so. But I'm going to give love to him for something that I really enjoyed reading. And I remember buying this. I don't even know why. I think I just found this at a store, and I was like, this looks cool. And I bought it, and I'm happy I did. And it's definitely, this actually almost made it to the top 5 list. And it's Frank Miller's Ronin. Don't let the cover deceive you. Don't let the more modern Frank Miller art deceive you, because you open this. Jocelyn, baby, it is peak like 80s Frank Miller. This came out 83, 84. So this is when Frank was still doing some fucking magic. You know what I mean? Like, he's hitting some fucking home runs on this art. Very, 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 very pretty. And I gotta say, it's very cyberpunk. If you like cyberpunk stuff, read Ronin immediately. Like, it's a cybernetic ninja from the past that's now in, like, this dystopian future. It's so great. It's such a great story. A lot of fun. It's really hard to, like, make a quick synopsis of it because it is such a deep story. But this is definitely around that Dark Knight Returns era. So this is straight up, like, Dark Knight Returns Miller art. You know what I mean? Like, that scratchy lines for, like, he did with, like, on Bruce and all that back in the day. Not Dark Knight 3, the original Dark Knight Returns, and not Dark Knight 2. Like, OG Dark Knight Returns. So, yeah, definitely recommend Ronin. This is actually one that I may actually reread again because I haven't read it in about, like, maybe 3 or 4 years. So this is one I definitely want to jump back into and, like, reread again because it was just really good. And, like, even just flipping through it, like, the colors in this, like, the colors are beautiful. Like, they do things very, like, methodically compared to what we get now from Frank. Like, look at that, man. All the fucking, like, metal things coming off of his body and all that. He's like a zombie cybernetic dude. It's crazy. So much fun. So, yeah, that's definitely, like I said, that was very close to making it on the top 5 list. But definitely recommend Frank Miller's Ronin. If you haven't read it yet, definitely put that on your list. It's Frank Miller at his best, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. It's definitely Frank doing some cool, unique stuff. So, because if it's not Frank saying, hey, let me do Batman and Daredevil, it's him doing, like, hey, let me make a very, like, 80s Blade Runner era cyberpunk samurai, you know? Like, it's such a unique concept, especially at the time. But yeah, that was our personal recommendations. I think we have some home runs in there, but we're going to look at this month in Wizard Magazine. We're going to take a time machine. While we talked about our personal favorites currently, we're going to look at what the world or America's favorites were in September of 2000. The new millennium kicked off, and we're going to look at Wizard number 108. This isn't the top 10 comics. This actually has a unique name of the Hot 10 comics, which when looking at the numbers for these, it may make you say, huh? They were hot? But you also remember 2000, this is like a really weird time in comics. They were starting to get back into popularity again. They were coming back, bouncing back from the crash that happened in the, mid-90s. Stuff was you're going to see from this list, usually what we see on this list, you could probably guess some names. Like, you'd see things like Witchblade and Wolverine and Spawn. That shit's not on this list. There are some unique names on this. That's why I wanted to point it out. Because we're going to say some names of things on here that we've never said before. All right? Some of them we have. And one of them you're actually going to love. All right? So number 1 on this list, to start it off here, is X-Men number 100 by Chris Claremont, Lionel F.U., and Mark Morales were the artists on this.
His name is Lionel Fuck You. That's awesome.
Yeah, Lionel F.U. It's you. Yeah, it's literally you. Why you?
Lionel Fuck You. That's amazing. Love that.
It says with a Rocking You variant cover and over 200,000 copies sold, this is the book to make your friends trade their very souls for. I went back to the actual numbers, all right? Maybe they're looking at a combination, but I could only see what it sold for the month it came out. And it sold an estimated 144,878 issues. So close to 200,000, to be honest. Not bad for 2000. Not bad.
Do you have a link to the Wizard article?
Oh, I do. Here. I meant to do this. I meant to send it to you. Here you go, buddy. Because you're going to love number 2 on this list. Number 2.
That's a good segue, right?
Marvel Knights Punisher number 1 by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon.
Oh, wow.
Last month it was number 1. This month it is number 2. They only put it here because since number 1, issue 2 has slowed down. But honestly, for issue 1, this sold an estimated 71,551 units. That is quite a bit. This almost sold 100,000 units alone. But you also got to remember, Marvel Knights was fucking popping at the time. This is like what Marvel Knights was selling in general, if not more, with things like Daredevil and all that. So this was a hot time for Marvel Knights, and especially with a character like Punisher. It's no question that this sold and is number 2 on this list.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to I'm trying to rack the numbers in my head of like the industry is like trying to recover at this point.
Yeah.
So they would consider probably 70,000 copies like pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
And anything over 100,000 would be like, wow, this is fucking great. This is great.
Exactly. You know? If you're reaching towards that, if you're Marvel or DC and you're reaching towards that 100,000 at this time, you're like, yeah, I mean, even nowadays, if they reach 100,000, it's like, holy fuck, sign it on for 24 issues. You know what I mean? Nowadays.
Yeah.
Fuck it. If your book sells 50,000 copies nowadays, you're getting a 12 issue. You know what I mean? Without shadow of a doubt. If you're selling 50,000. Back in the day, that was like, oh no. You know? But at this time, I would equate 2000s comics to where we are currently, I would say. I don't think that's too out of stretch to say. Where like comics weren't like the hottest thing in the world, but they weren't like in a bad spot. You know, they were very average.
Mm-hmm.
Because like 144,000, like that's less. That's what, maybe about what Absolute Batman sold. I think Absolute Batman sold like 300,000. Honestly, now that I think about it, but so it's
Absolute Batman sold a lot.
It sold like a fucking stupid amount of books. It's crazy.
Batman number 1 actually sold like 500.
Yeah, which is crazy, dude. It's nuts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say like comics then were about where we're at now. We're in a good spot at this time. Next on this actually is Batgirl number 2. And even they're like, why number 2 and not number 1? Well, it's because they equated it to issue number 2. While issue 2 did drop off in units, it still didn't drop off a lot. So issue 2 sold an estimated 49,465 units, when issue 1 sold about 71, I believe it was. So even then, it wasn't a ginormous drop. It was only like, what, 30,000? But for an issue 2 for Batgirl, you know what I mean? It's not like a super mainstay character. That's still pretty good.
And this ended up being probably the most beloved run of Batgirl, because this is the Cassandra Cain run.
Absolutely. People love her. I love her.
And if you ask a lot of, longtime Batgirl readers, I feel like most of them would say, like, yeah, man, Cassandra Cain is like my favorite.
And here, I got the exact number.
This book.
Issue 1 sold 64,296. So from 64,000 to 49,000, that's not a huge drop. Things like anything, I think Punisher dropped from like 71 to like 50. So you see bigger drops with bigger names. So that means it was doing something good, you know?
It's pretty respectful. Respectable, I should say, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And next on this list is actually something I vaguely heard the name of before. Like, it sounds familiar from Top Cow. Eve Proto-Mecha, number 1. That, like, I don't know. The name, like, the Eve part sounds vaguely familiar, but I know nothing about Eve Proto-Mecha, number 1.
This is a Top Cow comic I haven't read, but it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. And this was a book that actually sold 38,464,000 units. So about what Batgirl number 2 sold for a Top Cow book. That's not bad at all for one of the top 3.
You have to consider also the fact that, like, it's an independent company as well.
Exactly.
Granted, Top Cow was probably used to, Darkness and Witchblade consistently pumping out,
ginormous
80
numbers.
to 80 to 100,000 probably copies like every month.
Yeah.
For each. So I mean, what did you say, like 40,000?
For this one,
for Eve? Yeah.
This one had about 40,000, like 38,000.
That's really not bad. That's really not bad.
The next on this list piqued my interest. Honestly, this is the reason why I put this on this list. Number 5. From Jennifer Moore and Sean Carolan, with artist Phil Moy from DC Comics, Powerpuff Girls. And then I thought, man, why isn't there more Powerpuff Girl comics? Because I saw this and I said to myself, I would buy every issue of Powerpuff Girls. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I would have Powerpuff Girls on my pull list no matter what.
And I think it would work probably even better now as a comic.
Yeah, exactly. And they did mention in this that there is a huge fan base for the book, but when looking at what this book sold, it only sold about 14,000 copies from DC.
And it's considered a hot book?
Yeah, and it wasn't even in the top 100. It was like number 120 something. Like, it wasn't very high up, which is like,
time out. Why is this book on this list?
That's what I said. That's what I said.
And I'm not shitting on the Powerpuff Girls. I love the Powerpuff Girls, but like based on the numbers, based on the numbers, why is this on this list? And
it came out March of 2000, so like that's what it sold, a full 14,000. So I was like, okay.
That's a really disappointing return. And again, like, it was a huge TV show. That's a really disappointing
you would think it'd be a huge seller.
Yeah.
The next on this list, after Powerpuff Girls, is Hellblazer, number 146.
Hard left.
Hard left. As you know, Hellblazer, it's kind of those, like, you're going to make it, it's going to sell something every single time. You also got to remember this was part of, I think this was still Vertigo at the time, if I'm correct.
It was, yes.
So Vertigo wasn't really a huge seller. Like, it was for the people that liked Vertigo, were buying Vertigo. And DC knew that, and they were cool with that. So Hellblazer sold 18,154 copies, which is a lot smaller than I thought. But then you got to remember, it's issue 146. So the fact that it's selling 18,000 copies for something that's almost going to hit issue 200, it's pretty crazy.
And then, nothing sold really exceptionally well in Vertigo unless you were named the Sandman.
And now I'm really going to blow your mind. All right. So then I looked at what April sold for Powerpuff Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And in March, Powerpuff Girls sold 14,561. In April, Powerpuff Girls sold again. More people bought and ordered Powerpuff Girls and raked in about 11,895 units additional in April, totaling 26,426 units, meaning Powerpuff Girls was outselling Hellblazer. Which is funny to think if you're like a diehard comic fan. You know what I mean? Because Hellblazer is held up on such a pedestal.
Which, while I think that's funny, I still look at those numbers.
It makes sense.
I still look at those numbers for Powerpuff Girls, and I'm like, that should sell like at minimum 50,000 copies.
You would think so. You would think so. At least that total number is what it should have sold month one.
For the first issue, yeah, you would assume.
I wonder if it was one of those things people were unsure about it, if it was for like kids or not. I think that's another big thing, is that like if people think it's for kids, they're not going to get it. You know, because remember, this was while this was the era of, you know, getting out of that 90s period, this was still like adults were like buying adult themed books. Like every other book on this list is very adult themed. You know what I mean? So like Powerpuff Girls, even selling that much, I can kind of see it selling that low because while it has a big fan base, are kids going to really... you would think they would, but are they going to be like, Mommy, I want the new Powerpuff Girls comic, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know? Like, are they going to ask for it? I would. I think Powerpuff Girls ruled, man.
I'd be like, Mom, can you grab me the Powerpuff Girls off the rack there?
Yeah, put that Batman down. I need some Powerpuff Girls, all right? I need some sugar, spice, and everything nice. Fuck your doom and gloom.
No, actually, no. I want the background number 2. It says, please help me not to die. Give me that one.
Hellblazer? Powerpuff Girl me. Next on this list, X-Force number 102. This sold way more than I was expecting. X-Force 102 sold 54,395 copies at the time of this printing. I don't know.
That's pretty impressive given, like you said, the number of it. Like
and honestly, looking at the creative team, I'm kind of on board. Like Warren Ellis, Ian Edgington, and Willis Portacio doing art. I'm kind of on board with that.
You got Portacio doing art, like it's going to be a very nice looking book.
Yeah, exactly. And the cover looks beautiful too. So I could see, but damn, I was like 54. Holy shit, that's a lot, especially for X-Force. I didn't think it'd be selling that much. 100 Bullets is number 8 on this list. 100 Bullets number 1. This is one I like kind of know the name, but I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about this.
Well, this ended up making Azzarello's career.
Really?
Like Azzarello's, yeah, I mean, Azzarello's forever attached to 100 Bullets. I mean, it's still, to a lot of people, this is probably still like his best work. And I mean, this went on for, I think, exactly 100 issues, if not a little bit more than 100 issues. This went on for a long time.
Does this get an adaptation?
I don't think it did.
Okay, I don't know why I thought it did. Okay, no,
it would have
I don't know why I thought so.
It would have to be a TV show. It's way too fucking long to be a movie.
Yeah, that's what well, there is a movie on IMDb called 100 Bullets, but I don't know if it's related.
I don't think it's related.
It's like a fan film.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, 100 Bullets pretty much made like Azzarello's career.
Canceled video game wiki. 100 Bullets was supposed to be an action video game for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox in October of 2004. However, due to Acclaim's bankruptcy, the game was never released. This is supposed to be a video game.
That is fascinating. I did not actually know that.
It was planned for release on Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, and PlayStation Portable, and the Wii. Goddamn. They were supposed to get so many adaptions of this later on. Yeah, so after it got canceled, it was going to be picked up and made for those systems in 2007. After.
Right.
But then even that got canned also.
What a shame.
It looks like it was in like development hell because then it got pushed to 2009 and then it just never happened.
Yeah. Damn, what a shame.
So that's unfortunate. But this was supposed to get a video game. Pretty cool. And that dude on the cover in the suit with the gray hair, he's actually the poster guy in the little start menu for it. So pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next on here is actually a series I have issue half
How
of.
much? Wait, hold on. How much did 100 Bullets #1 sell?
Oh, my apologies. This sold. Let me see here. This sold 17,347 units sold in March of 1999. But that is an insane number. Did I? Oh, no. Okay, sorry. 17,328 units sold. I was reading the wrong line. In June of 1999. So this was actually in issue number 6 at the time of this writing. So they're actually just talking about going back and getting issue 1 and like jumping on board with it now. Like that's what maybe people are buying it.
Okay.
Maybe after all. So these units, by the way, I want to make this clear. These units are what were ordered to stores. They sold after that, on secondary markets, people reordering them after. So the original units were 17,328. But after that, obviously people, when they read it or hear about it from word of mouth, they go and order more. So it probably sold way more than that. You know what I mean?
Gabe, I'm fucking stupid. This whole time I thought it was what the hottest comic books were for this month. It says hottest back issues.
Dude, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So like this is so completely different. It says hottest back issues.
That makes sense because I'm looking through these. I'm like, none of these were in August.
Yeah. So now I wonder, like, what Powerpuff Girls #1 sold up until what. I mean, I don't know when this issue of Wizard came out, but like, I'm curious to see,
September of 2000. But
right. So like,
I think maybe it came out August. I think they would like date them ahead. I think.
Right.
If I was correct. Number 9 is actually one I have issue half of, and it's Rising Stars by J. Michael Straczynski.
This is something that I've been trying to get a hold of for a while. There's a compendium of Rising Stars.
I've seen it in person, and I'm always holding it, and I'm like, do I have the money to commit to it right now?
Yeah.
I do have Rising Stars figures, though, on my shelves that I have. Don't know why I have them, but I do. This is going to blow your mind. So, issue number 0 sold an estimated 17,347 units in March of 1999, all right? That was like the preview book of what's to come from Top Cow. Guess what issue 1 sold in July of 1999? It jumped from 17,000 for this preview issue 0 to issue 1 selling 95,552 units. It was selling amazingly. It was the number 3 book sold that month from any company.
That's really crazy.
Maybe if I look back, it'll probably only be behind like X-Men, if I'm guessing correctly. Which is insane.
We talk about books all the time where we're like, man, I'm surprised it never got adapted. Surprised Rising Stars never got adapted.
You would think with how popular, because I have seen this come up multiple times in people's lists of like must-reads. And it's one that I'm shocked even I haven't read yet.
Well, to me, it's not just about how popular it was. I think it's the fact that the story itself, I feel like, lends itself well for like an adaptation.
Yeah.
I think you could do it. I think Amazon could pick it up and do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hey, The Boys is ending. You need something to fill that void.
I'm just saying, I don't know, man. Or do a Savage Dragon live action. I don't know.
Or that, or Savage Dragon animated. Just give me anything.
Do something.
And the final one on this list is Marvel Boy #1, another Marvel Knights book. And just to show you how good Marvel Knights was selling, not only was this a Marvel Knights book that was selling well, it was by Grant Morrison, who at this time and still to this day is an all-time writer. And a Marvel Boy book for Marvel Knights by Grant Morrison sold fucking 47,000 units in 2000. I would have never guessed that. If someone said, hey, did you buy Marvel Boy for Marvel Knights? I would have been like, no. I would not have thought this sold so well. You know what I mean? Almost half of 100,000 units for this? Crazy. Marvel Knights was firing on all cylinders.
That's one of those titles where your buddy's like, hey, man, did you pick up Marvel Boy #1? You're like, no, man, that sounds fucking stupid. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Marvel
exactly.
Boy?
But you're like, yo, it's by Grant Morrison, though.
And then you're like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's by Grant Morrison, sure, I'll read it. Oh, fuck. You know what? Never mind. This is actually pretty good.
And it says here, the book sold out, reorders were placed instantly, and everyone wants it. So this was a sellout.
Doesn't surprise me at all. And this is a book of Marvel Boy. Like, this is something that I've been trying to get for a while, and It's on my bucket list. I want to get the trade paperback of it.
Yeah, they need to start reprinting some Marvel Knights stuff.
They do. I think they're actually reprinting Angelic Punisher. I don't know why they're doing that. That's a really bad time period, but whatever. That's the run before Garth Ennis takes over.
My God.
It's so weird. Punisher gets killed and then he gets brought back as like an avenging angel. It's so fucking weird. But weirdly enough, that time period, that Punisher run, where again he gets killed and he gets brought back as an angel, it sold a lot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that was this month in Wizard for everyone. Thank you so much for listening to issue number 31. Next time we are back for issue number 32 in October. We've talked about it quite a bit on this episode and previous ones of things that we're like, man, no one talks about this. So we're going to talk about some comic book hidden gems that are out there that maybe we've read, things that we feel like are hidden gems, and maybe we'll try to pull up a list of some hidden gems that other sites and people have discovered that maybe we don't know about. So we're going to do that next month, look at some hidden gems in comics. And on our one-shot, to honor the return to the Amalgam universe in Batman and Deadpool, Deadpool and Batman, let me get the order right, because it's by Marvel. We are going to look at the original Amalgam universe, and we are finally going to review an Amalgam book. And we're going to review one that, of a character people always think of when they think of Amalgam. And it's Legends of the Dark Claw, #1, the amalgamation of Wolverine and Batman. AKA, Faust. Looks just like Faust. So look out for that in the one-shot. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.